afternoon, everyone. My name is Eric Lavasser, and I have the distinct pleasure of serving as president of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation. Today, we gather to celebrate a treasured Bar Foundation event, the 78th annual Franklin A. Polk Public Servants Merit Awards. For nearly 8 decades, this ceremony has honored the unsung heroes of our legal system, those dedicated individuals who work behind the scenes on a daily basis to uphold justice and serve the public with unwavering commitment. Each year, city, county, state, and federal courts, along with the clerks of court of those offices, have the opportunity to nominate non-elected employees who have demonstrated exceptional service, integrity, and devotion. This tradition of recognizing long and faithful service, wise counsel, and unwavering patience speaks volumes about the vital role these individuals play in our justice system. Today, we are privileged to acknowledge 11 individuals whose careers embody the spirit of public service. Your dedication not only enhances our legal community, but also strengthens the very fabric of our society. Thank you for your outstanding service to the legal profession, the general public, and our justice system. Before we get to the awards, I would like to pause for a moment to recognize and thank the chairs of the Bar Foundation's Public Service Awards Committee, Sonali Wilson and Scott Lewis, as well as their committee, for all their efforts in planning and securing sponsorships for this year's event. So without further ado, it is my honor to introduce our MC for the evening, Jacob Cronenberg. Jacob, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you for getting us started. In addition to serving as this year's president of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Foundation, Eric has been a longtime volunteer for the bar's high school mock trial programs and has been a member of the foundation's board of directors for 5 years. Thank you, Eric, for all your service to the bar. As Eric mentioned, today we celebrate 11 individuals, sometimes it's larger, sometimes it's smaller, who have made significant contributions to the administration of justice. While we will be hearing from our honorees and those who nominated them, or the nominator's representatives in just a few minutes, you also have the chance to learn more about each of them in the printed program you received after you arrived here today. Also joining us today are several of our colleagues and friends who are past recipients of the Public Servants Merit Awards. At this time, I would like to ask all of our former honorees to please stand for those who are present. Don't be shy. Now, this is only a small sample of the many, many honorees who've been honored. And those of you who would take the trouble to go into the old courthouse on Lakeside Avenue, you will find as you go into your right a number of plaques, which I hope have finally been updated, since I was told by someone who was really unhappy who got the award a couple years ago that they weren't yet on the wall, listing all of the honorees. And if you think about each of those names, then that each of them generally represents 20 years or more of public service. That's a lot of hundreds, if not thousands of hours, and they deserve our appreciation. It's now my honor to turn our attention to the judges and elected public officials in attendance. Again, please stand so we may recognize you, and thank you for sending your nominations and helping us to continue our tradition of recognizing the unsung heroes amongst us who have and continue to keep the wheels of justice turning. So please stand, all you people who are used to standing. In keeping with the tradition that I started many years ago when I got tired of trying to write introductions for the people, each of the nominators will be giving an introduction for each of their nominees. And while we usually do this in alphabetical order of the honorees, the Federal Public Defender Service, someone has a pre-existing appointment, or we just will recognize it as federal supremacy, which because the federal government rules everyone. So please, Mr. Newman and his nominee, Chris Sason, please come forward.
I like the federal supremacy. It's well said. So they ask you to come up here and summarize a person's 30-year career in 2 minutes or less. So I'll do my best to do that, but I do encourage you to look at the program as our MC suggested to learn more about Chris and what she's done. You know, we in the Public Defender's Office are very proud of what we do. We get the privilege of maintaining the rights enshrined in our Constitution, not on behalf of a sovereign, but on behalf of the individual, the citizen, we the people. And we do that by zealously defending our clients, regardless of who they are, where they come from. And the attorneys are the ones who typically go into court and get the recognition, the acknowledgement for doing that. But the attorneys can't do their job without the people who are running in the background, kind of like the old DOS system. It's always running in the background. And that's our support staff. So I stand here in grateful appreciation to the foundation for giving me the privilege of recognizing one of those individuals who has been doing this for 30-plus years at the Federal Public Defender's Office, Ms. Chris Sason, our longest tenured employee. She started with our office in 1987, and she's held virtually every position of significance and importance in our office since that time. She's worked with each chief defender, starting with the very first chief defender, Ed Merrick, and to me, the fourth public defender, Steve Newman. And while her work, as has been said, is commonly behind the scenes, it's nevertheless crucial to everything that we do and to our success. But what really sets Chris apart, in my view, is the relationships she has, not just with persons in our office, but most importantly with the other members of the federal court family, the clerk's office, judges' chambers, the U.S. Attorney's Office. I know for a fact that if I need to have something done or find out who the person is I need to talk to or who the button is that I need to push, I just need to talk to Chris because she knows somebody and it'll get it done. And it'll get done quickly, efficiently, and without any fuss or muss. But finally, and perhaps most importantly to me, she's a trusted friend, she's an ally, and she's a colleague everybody in the office can trust. Her professionalism, her positivity, her passion, her work ethic, and her compassion knows no bounds. And it's not confined by the four walls of our office. It extends to her community and to the entire court family. Thousands of people over the years have benefited from Christine's client-centric approach to her work. So as I said, a colleague, a trusted advisor, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a pillar of our Cleveland legal landscape. Chris is very deserving of this recognition. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you all very much, and thank you for being here. And thank you, Steve, for those kind words. Our office was established in 1973, and I started with the office a mere 14 years later, and I grew up with the office. I was there as a single person. I got married. I had children. I'm now a grandma, which is amazing. We'll see how many more years I'll work. I enjoy what I do, which helps, and I love the people I work with. They mean so much to me, as well as the clients. We have a passion for what we do. Everybody is entitled to zealous representation, and that's what we do, and I'm proud to be a part of it, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris, and congratulations. Our next honoree is from the Cleveland Municipal Court, and her nominator is Judge Moná Scott and Shannon Devine. While they're walking up here, I have to note that this is, I believe, a multi-generational award. Her mother worked for many years in domestic court, and I knew her there, and I'm always pleased that we get a second generation. God knows if I'll be around long enough for a third.
Thank you, Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, for extending an invitation to nominate someone. So this is Cleveland Municipal Court Housing Division. Deputy Chief Bailiff Shannon Devine has been a key component of the Housing Court Bailiff's Department for over 22 years. She was previously employed as a warrant clerk with the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department and began her career as a deputy bailiff with Cleveland Municipal Court Housing Division on March 18, 2002. She is a mother of 3 phenomenal children, and her dedication to her family is unwavering, much like her commitment to the housing court and the staff. From the beginning of her career, Deputy Chief Bailiff Devine has always displayed an interest in learning all facets of the bailiff's department. She expanded her knowledge of eviction procedures, office management, case management systems, including Odyssey, and every aspect of the bailiff's department. In 2012, she was promoted from deputy bailiff to deputy bailiff supervisor in-house by the late Honorable Judge Pianca. She excelled in her new role with her gifts in running the housing court's bailiff department with efficiency and knowledge that she garnished in her first 10 years. 10 years later, in 2022, she was promoted to deputy chief bailiff, a newly created position. In her role as the new deputy chief bailiff, in addition to assisting the chief bailiff, her responsibilities include coordinating office assignments, new bailiff training, updating policies and procedures, courtroom security, and also assisting with emergency evictions. She also participates in special event security for the court and has an excellent rapport with attorneys, litigants, and staff. Deputy Chief Bailiff Devine has an effective way of being able to remedy any complications that may occur during the eviction dockets. And she also has been a pillar of strength for our department, for our bailiff's department, especially when challenging events occur with the bailiffs, both personally and professionally. 20 years of her service is not simply a measure of time. It is a testament of loyalty, perseverance, and passion. It represents her countless hours of hard work, sacrifice, and relentless pursuit of excellence. It is also a journey filled with both triumphs and challenges. Through it all, including the pandemic, Deputy Chief Bailiff Devine has stood strong and determined. Over the past 2 decades, Cleveland Housing Court has witnessed tremendous growth and a steadfast commitment of our staff, but especially Deputy Court Bailiff Devine. I thank you for the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association for extending this award for one of our best staff and our employee of Cleveland Housing Court, Deputy Chief Devine.
Judge Scott, thank you for this nomination and this award. It means a lot to me for your recognition. Judge Scott, I have deep gratitude for your trust in me and my abilities to have been promoted to the position of Deputy Chief. I'm very humble and grateful for my everyday work life for the last 20+ years. Every day is new and challenging, exciting, and adventurous in the Bailiff's Department. It keeps me very humble. Chief Russell, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for our teamwork. We've made the dream work. Thank you to my mom and dad for instilling this persevering work ethic and determination. Without them, I wouldn't be here today. Again, thank you to you all in the city of Cleveland. I couldn't imagine serving a better city.
Thank you, Shannon. Our next awardee comes from what may be a new but certainly not a frequent participant, the Cuyahoga County Law Library. We welcome them. Here presenting Eric Hess as the honoree is Kathy Dugan, and I apologize if I just mangled your name, as his nominator.
Good afternoon. I nominated Eric Hess for this award because he gave the Law Library and Cuyahoga County 40 years of his work life as a paralegal, librarian, and self-trained network administrator and webmaster. From his first days performing administrative duties at the Law Library to his current role running the Law Library's network and website, Mr. Hess has kept abreast of innovations in technology that help make legal research tools and resources accessible to Cuyahoga County lawyers, judges, officials, law firms, and self-represented litigants. Eric's early contributions to the library and county, including designing the Law Library's very first website in 1995 when the internet was in its infancy. But you may not know that Eric also created websites for Cuyahoga County, the Cleveland Municipal Court, and the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office. He also created the county's first local area network, what we call a LAN, to connect agencies and departments with law library resources. Another significant contribution was his work with the 8th District Court of Appeals and the Cleveland Public Library to post electronic copies of the court's opinions on the Law Library's website from 1990 through 2005. The judges in the room should know this was a game changer for access to legal opinions at that time. As the internet and technology have evolved, so have Eric's skills and abilities. He has continually embraced and enhanced the resources available through the Law Library's website and helped to enable 24/7 access to some very valuable legal research databases. Finally, you would not know this, but Eric is a self-trained graphic artist who has created outstanding promotional materials for law library events. I'm sure you will agree that Mr. Hess is very deserving of this award.
Thank you. I'd like to first thank the foundation for this recognition. Very appreciative. I was surprised when I found out. I'd like to thank all my bosses over the years. As Kathy said, I've been there for actually 41 years. Arthur Fisk, my first boss, hired me. A couple years after I started, he kind of admitted the only reason I was hired was because I was a male. They needed somebody to climb ladders and lift heavy boxes. So I guess I lucked out. Bob Barner took over for Arthur, and then Ryan Novak, and then finally Kathy Dugan. And I'd like to thank her for nominating me for this award. I'd like to thank my wife, Kelly, for putting up with me for all these years. And I just was lucky to have directors that allowed me to do what I loved, which was technology, and to be on the cutting edge of technology for the Law Library. Thank you.
Congratulations, Eric, and I think now I know who Big Brother in Cuyahoga County is. Our next nominee is from the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas General Division. Pat Mingee is being presented by Judge Brendan Sheehan.
Thank you. I was told I had an hour, Jacob.
It's flexible. I'm sure
Yeah,
there's
all right.
someone who will exceed whatever you do.
I'd like to thank the Bar Foundation, the CMBA, and I'd like to congratulate all the honorees for this distinguished award. It takes a lot of confidence to tell a judge no. But Pat Mingee has never lacked confidence. When I told Pat that I wanted her to be the court's 2024 Franklin A. Polk's Public Servant Award recipient? Her answer was no. Another thing I'll let you know, something to let you know on is that judges usually don't take no for an answer. It's not that Pat wasn't honored to be chosen for this special recognition. It's just that Pat, like so many dedicated public servants, prefer to do her job quietly, efficiently, and with little fuss as possible. Again, when you work with judges, that's not always easy. In fact, when the judges found out that Pat was going to be receiving this award, there was a line to say, hey, I'd like to nominate her. Matter of fact, some of those judges are here. Judge Russo, Judge McGinty, Judge Mattia, Judge Cleary. And I want you to know, Pat, Judge Mattia was first at my door saying, I want to do this. But I fought him off. The job that Pat does is not easy. If you walk the halls of Common Pleas Court, eventually you'll hear someone say, I'm not sure. Let me ask Pat. Or, I think Pat may know. Like Prince, Adele, Elton, so many other icons, you don't need a last name to know who you're really talking about. Pat began working for our court in 1998 as the fiscal officer for the Corrections Planning Board. In 2011, Pat was promoted to the position of payroll officer and HR assistant in court administration. Since that time, she has managed the time of the staff of nearly 500 employees, making sure everyone gets paid on time and appropriately. Pat is one of the first people that every new court employee or judge meets as they walk through the benefit enrollments, and many of them for the first time in their professional career. She is usually the first person who is aware of an employee's imminent retirement from the court, and she's learned how to break that news gently to our judges and court administration. For every employee's major life event, Pat is the first person who knows about it, and she shares in their excitement and sometimes in their sadness. Finally, I will tell you, Pat holds the key to the history of our court. If a letter was sent or a meeting was held, Pat can find it. I could go on, but I will simply say that Pat's work at the court makes a difference to every employee and every judge. She is so very deserving of this recognition, and I want to thank the Bar Foundation for letting us honor her and employees like her every year. She's going to step up here and tell you she shouldn't have been singled out, but that's not the case. Don't believe it for 1 second. So it is my honor to recognize Patricia Mingee as the Common Pleas General Division 2024 recipient of the Franklin A. Polk Public Servant Award. And sorry, Pat, there's no way around it.
Good afternoon. I've been to many of these Polk Award ceremonies in the past, and I can honestly say that I would rather be sitting in the audience than behind this podium. But at all these ceremonies, the speeches that were given by the award recipients, whether short or long, or serious or hilarious, in one way or another, they all express gratitude for their career as a public servant. Today, I want to echo those sentiments. First, by thanking my family for their love and support, and I hope they take me to dinner. And I'm very grateful to all the judges who have shown me kindness in all the years that I've been with the court. I offer a special thank you to Greg and Andrea for everything, and I do mean everything. To my bosses who have retired from the court, Chris, Jim, Maria, and Uta, thank you for your trust and your gratitude. And to Neida, Colleen, Kelly, Herminio, Darren, and all of my court co-workers, please know that you make a difference. But most importantly, I want to share this award with all the deserving people, past and present, who will never have the chance to stand behind this podium. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next award is from the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division. Here presenting is Judge Tom O'Malley, and his honoree, Shauna Nevel. And again, my apologies if I'm...
Good afternoon, everyone. I am honored to introduce Cuyahoga County Juvenile Court's recipient of the 2024 Franklin A. Polk Public Servants Merit Award, Shauna Nevel. Shauna is going to celebrate her 28th year at the court this December. She's dedicated her entire career to the youth in the detention center, and I'm confident that at some point she could have come over to what we call the court tower, but she has, her passion is helping the youth that are in our detention center. She's worked, as you can see in the program, as a detention officer, activities coordinator, security officer, and now she's a unit manager, which is not an easy job on a good day, or a day like today when there's 34 youth in our detention center charged with homicide or murder. I've been in the detention center with Shauna, and let me tell you, the kids know her name, and she knows every one of them. She's a great leader. People love to work with her, and they respect her, and she has this kind of way about her that's kind of infectious. When we went over, Tim McDevitt, Bridget Gibbons and I went over and told her, we're nominating you for the award. I said, well, you're going to have to make a statement. It can only, have to be 2 minutes. She goes, oh, I need longer than that. When she's not at work, she takes care of her mom, and her daughter is somewhere here. Where are they? Way in the back. Congratulations to you. And when she's not taking care of her mom, she loves to travel any place warm. What people don't know about her, because it's not in her nature to talk about herself, and she may not like this, but she was a standout basketball player at Edinburgh University. She remains in the record books. She's number 8 in shots made in school history, 541. 10th in leading scorer in school history, 1,384 points, 212 steals, and 99 three-pointers. Here. Being someone that's somewhat vertically challenged, I find those statistics amazing. Shauna brings the same team mentality to the juvenile court. She wants to see everyone succeed. She recognizes that the detention center runs better when everyone works together. Ooh, I should put that on a t-shirt. She's respected by her peers, the youth in the detention center, the families that visit, and everyone in the court tower. On behalf of the over 540 people that work at juvenile court, I want to congratulate you and thank you for your almost 28 years of hard work, dedication to the youth and families of Cuyahoga County, for the respect and professionalism you show your coworkers each and every day, which can sometimes be 16 hours. Shauna, congratulations.
You're going to start the time?
I'm not that kind of guy.
Thank you, all the people attending. I'd like to thank you for nominating me, Judge. I really want to thank my detention center family. We've been through so much together, and I take something from each one of them, and I just kind of put it on my duty belt. I want to thank my family for attending and the support that you all give me. Interesting story. When I was young, in high school, freshman, I used to drive by the old building. They call it the Deuce Deuce, then 22nd and Central. And I used to say, man, how can I get in that building? I had friends growing up, and they unfortunately, a couple of them had been through the system, and they were telling me about how much fun they had. And I was like, man, I got to get in that building. I was an athlete growing up, though, so I kind of stayed out of trouble. But when I went away to college, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So I majored in criminal justice. I have a minor in child psychology. I said, I'm working in that building. I was 21 when I came home, and I applied, and they hired me. And when I tell you, I was so excited. I was so excited. And just every day I go to work and just working with the youth and my partners, it's just like, I talk to them and I just look at them in the room and I say, if I could reach one person today in this room and another youth tomorrow and the next day, that's just my job. And, you know, when I'm out in the community and unfortunately, I do see them on the news, some that we've had in the facility, but I also see success stories, and they come down to the building and they ask to speak to me, and I come up front, and they have families now, and I've had their fathers in the building. I know I'm aging myself, but but when someone says that they love their job, I really do love working for a juvenile court. It was my dream. It was my job that I wanted to do, and I was hired, and I've just enjoyed my time there at the court. Even more so, I was talking to Mr. Lanzo, the superintendent, and I had told him I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the court after I retire. How can I get back in the building? So, interesting that the Olympics just ended, because when I look at this award, I think about, you know, how they put so much dedication and commitment into their skill and what they do. I put so much into this, and this is my award tonight. So thank you, and it's like my gold medal. So, all right.
Congratulations and thank you, Shauna, and the WNBA wants to apologize for not being around to have you then. Our next nominee is from the Cuyahoga County Domestic Relations Court, and presenting Magistrate Dan Newman is his judge, Judge Diane Palos.
Good afternoon. Thank you to the Bar Foundation for this chance. We really appreciate it. It is with great pleasure that today the Domestic Relations Court nominates Magistrate Daniel Newman for recognition at the 78th Annual, and Jacob really hasn't been here all those years, Public Servants Merit Awards. Some people have said that judicial hearing officers should not be included in this honor. Judges are specifically excluded. While Daniel is currently a support magistrate at our court, we believe he is the very model of the type of public servant we acknowledge here. For many years of his career, he has served in several capacities at several courts, always helping people and doing it with enthusiasm. Prior to his 24-year employment at our court, he worked as a juvenile court custody mediator for 2 years. He learned his mediation skills at the Cleveland Municipal Court as a law clerk mediator in his early years of law school. Since Dan joined the Domestic Relations Court in September of 2000, he has always been a team player, not basketball though. He is always eager to assist in whatever way is needed, and he has transitioned between jobs, always for the good of the court. He spent 8 years as a staff attorney, and during that time, for 10 months, he volunteered to be a temporary magistrate and fill in on another magistrate's docket who was on maternity leave. Immediately prior to being a support magistrate, Daniel served as my bailiff for 9 years. During that time, I witnessed his professionalism and courtesy. As my bailiff, he used his legal skills and his mediation training to assist self-represented people in settling their cases and in preparing the documents. Also, prior to being a magistrate, he did employment mediations for the United States Postal Service. Did you hear what I just said? Postal Service. The fact that he's still here is one acknowledgement of his skill. But he also learned very helpful strategies there that help in domestic relations court, where the people are probably as angry, maybe even angrier than postal workers. Dan was appointed as a child support magistrate and it was a natural transition. His strength is helping people reach a resolution while being heard. More often than not, the people who appear in our court are experiencing what is possibly the most difficult time in their lives. Dan has always treated parties and attorneys in a friendly and professional manner with patience, kindness, and respect. Daniel has distinguished himself as a key and valued employee whose dedication to our court is without question. He is very supportive of the court itself, his fellow employees, and the community. In addition to his public service, Dan has been involved in community service as well. He has served as adjunct faculty at Cuyahoga Community College for 20 years, teaching various courses including juvenile law, family law, criminal law, probate law, business transactions, paralegal capstone, peace studies, first-year success, and introduction to paralegal studies. His input has been invaluable to Tri-C, where he has designed curriculum, implemented and instructed the school's legal mediation course as well. He is a mentor for other magistrates in Ohio and for attorneys in the Arab American Bar Association. Daniel always makes sure that his students and mentees understand the obligation of being an attorney, and especially if you're working in a family law case. He almost always has a student with him. They're sitting with him in his hearings. He brings them up to introduce them to us. He's always taking them around the building, showing them how things work. He's shared his knowledge and taught others about how our court works, about court processes, and the importance of patience and understanding in family law cases. To talk of Dan without mentioning his faith and faith-based volunteering would be to ignore the motivation for all of his good work. He has been involved in various activities over many years at his church, the Rockport United Methodist Church. His dedication to his church and its programs framed Daniel's other acts of service. For all of these reasons and many more, Daniel is deserving of this recognition. Our court is very proud to have Daniel as an employee, and we celebrate his outstanding service.
Thank you very much. And first and foremost, I do thank God. There is one God, and we give all honor to God. Thank you to Judge Palos and to the Bar Association. I've also helped with the 3 R's program in the Cleveland Public Schools and helped with high school mock trial. Also, congratulations to the fellow recipients, Shannon, Eric, Pat, Shauna, who I also graduated from Edinburgh University, and you got a gold medal. I'm probably like on the 10th place because you did it. You're really, really hard to follow, Shauna. So next time I'm going before you if we ever do this again or have anything else again. Sandra, Christine, Sue, Lisa, Stephen, and Randy. I am not the best at my job, but I'm surrounded by wonderful coworkers. So thank you to everyone at the Domestic Relations Court and also to the fellow members, the attorneys of the Bar Association. And especially thank you to my judges, Judge Francine Goldberg, Judge Colleen Reale, Judge Tanya Jones, Judge Leslie Celebrezzi, and Judge Diane Palos. The Domestic Relations Court, we see good people that are in really bad situations and sometimes behaving badly, but really, really try with my mind and my heart and my soul to try to help them resolve their conflict and also have some human dignity. It's very important, and it's something that's really needed in the world today. In my career and vocation as a public servant, I have three C's, and that's the court, the college, and church. At a local level, I do well. When I get a little bit older, when I see things in the Middle East and Africa and people being killed, I need to do better, and God willing, I will. But what I use as my mantra is a very famous quote from John Wesley, which is, do all the good you can, by all the means you can, to all the people you can, in all the ways you can, for so long as you ever can. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dan, and much honor to you. Our next presentation of a nominee is Mark Mastrangelo of the Ohio Attorney General's Office, presenting his nominee, Sandy Nimrick.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I would like to thank the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, the foundation, for this program that honors our public servants. And I'd also like to thank Lisa Reed from the Attorney General's office for all the work she did in highlighting Sandy's exemplary service career. Sandy began in the Cleveland office, her public service career in 1991 during Attorney General Lee Fisher's term. She transitioned from doing transactional work to civil litigation and the handling of a full trial docket in workers' compensation. While normally this would be quite an adjustment for a lawyer in her third year of practice, it was a seamless move for her and for our office. In many large governmental organizations, staffed with attorneys handling high-volume caseloads and busy trial dockets, camaraderie is an important aspect in the operation of the organization. With the presence of varied personalities and the egos, sometimes organizational missteps can occur. Sandy has found a home and a calling with the Attorney General's office and the workers' comp section. Her great qualities of patience, her peaceful demeanor and humor contributed to the great camaraderie in the unit up here in the Cleveland area. It was a great bonus that she was super smart, and especially when a brief or motion needed some tinkering or serious refocusing. Her wise counsel was extremely beneficial. Handling the trial docket in multiple counties can be challenging, and Sandy handled it with adroitly and used her patience and peaceful personality to efficiently manage her caseload while having time to cover for other AAGs in various counties. In Cuyahoga County, new work comp court appeals are opened at a rate of 20-1 to every other county in Ohio. Sandy understood the cooperative culture in the workers' comp unit and in the practice among her peers, and she excelled in working with the courts, with her AAGs, with the in-house counsel, with our client agency, and her adversaries. Like a seasoned diplomat, she always had the perfect touch in soothing tense situations, especially during settlement negotiations. While at court, I always marveled at her stories when she came back, especially with her conversations with judges and concerning, new books that they read or what books the judges or counsel read. She was always amenable to adjusting her court schedule, to accommodate conflicts with her co-counsel or opponents, and on occasion even a party plaintiff. In one instance, Sandy had a case where the plaintiff alleged that she developed sick building syndrome, from working. After numerous deposition scheduling issues due to the plaintiff's reservation about going into particular buildings, Sandy ended up conducting the deposition at the plaintiff's residence, which we never do, but she made that adjustment. In order to help her lawyer, she's always there giving great tactical advice and great information, about medical conditions, about the state of the law, and any help that furthers settlements and the quick disposition of cases. Sandy has a personal connection with her coworkers, the client, the staff, the attorney. She's blessed with that wonderful personality. She kept, and she keeps a connection with the staff and knows, unbelievably everybody's birth date. She knows the hiring dates for people, the dates when people retire. She knows everybody's children. She knows all these fantastic things about people, and it soothes all the tensions in a very busy litigation practice. And the unit really wouldn't run smoothly without her efforts. In my long tenure at the Attorney General's office, and I'm now retired, Sandy and her great intellect made my work so much easier, and her useful suggestions on a variety of topics and legal issues was invaluable. So thank you for being such a talented employee and a talented public servant, and you are the epitome of an outstanding public servant. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Mark was my supervisor at the Attorney General's office for 30 years until he retired a few years ago, but he's really much more like my big brother. And everyone should be as fortunate in their work lives as I have been. I want to thank the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association for this wonderful honor. I can't imagine anything more personally meaningful to me or for which I would more prefer to be recognized than public service. And it's a real honor and humbling to share this stage today with so many dedicated public servants from the Cleveland area. I'm so grateful to my coworker, Lisa Reed, and all of the people that she organized to nominate me. I'm not even sure who they all are, but I have been joined by so many wonderful, special people on this journey, including coworkers, court staff, our clients, and opposing counsel, many of whom have become close friends and like family to me over the years. I especially want to recognize former Ohio Attorney General Lee Fisher, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, and the 1,234 Ohio voters who made the difference in electing Lee back in 1990. Don't believe for a single minute that your one vote doesn't make a difference. Lee was the one who hired me at the Cleveland office of the Attorney General's office 33 years ago and gave me this amazing opportunity to work on behalf of the people of Ohio. And his career has been a real model for service. I also want to thank the 7 attorneys general who succeeded Lee, who have kept me around the office and allowed me to continue to do the work I love for the workers' compensation section and for the people of Ohio. And finally, of course, I want to thank my husband, Bruce, who's been there with me through it all from the beginning, and who had his own distinguished public service career, and also deserves to be standing up here for that. We're proud that we've been able to pass that commitment to public service along to our kids. We have a daughter who earned her degree at MIT, but chose to become a public school teacher. And our younger son, our youngest, is now studying in college to become a history teacher. I'm someone who got involved in politics and public service from a very early age. And I know that we're all presented with opportunities throughout our lives to help others and serve our communities and our society. And I firmly believe that there's no more noble career path than that of public service. And I get very excited when I see members of the next generation stepping up and making the choice of pursuing such a path. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Sandy. Our next nominee is from the Cuyahoga County Probate Court. Judge Anthony Russo is here to present his nominee, Sue Schwarten. And as they're coming up, I have to ask Judge Russo, it's been 15 years that I've been carrying the guilt that my intemperance in domestic court was what led you to take Sue to the second floor to get away from me. Is that true or not?
Thank you, Jacob. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today to present this award to my lovely and talented administrative assistant, Sue Schwarten. Sue and I actually started our careers together back in 1981. When I was a young attorney at Russo Roth & Company, I hired a pretty young lady named Sue Model as the office manager for our Parmatown office. In retrospect, this was one of the smartest moves I ever made. From that day on, no matter where I went, Sue came with me. First at the law office, then at domestic relations court, and for the past 15 years now, she's been with me at the probate court. Unbelievably, here we are, 43 years later, and fortunately for me, Sue is still here, working with me, still keeping me on task, and still making me look good. Whatever success I've had in my career, Sue deserves much of the credit for it. I made a list of everything Sue does for me, but it was too long to repeat here. so it's easier to say what she doesn't do for me. She doesn't get me up in the morning, she doesn't help me get dressed, and she doesn't drive me to work. I may be an old guy, but yes, I'm still able to do those things myself, barely. But pretty much everything else that happens after I get to the courthouse, Sue has her hands on it, making sure it gets done accurately, promptly, and efficiently. Most important, however, Sue makes sure we all have fun while we're doing it. Over the course of my career, I've come to realize that everyone at the court is expendable, including me. But I also know, without Sue at the helm, the entire operation would probably crash and burn. Thankfully, she's the glue that holds everything together. Sue treats all the attorneys and litigants with the utmost courtesy and respect. She'll listen intently to their every concern, no matter how small, how unusual, or how mundane it may be, and make sure their questions are answered and their issues are resolved. And she always does it with a smile on her face. Sometimes she'll talk to a pro se litigant so long, we have to actually make up an excuse to interrupt her to get her off the phone. Last year's winner, Peggy Vanek, is one of Sue's best friends at the court. They're so close, in fact, that we refer to them jointly as Peggy Sue. Every year, Peggy Sue co-chairs our Harvest for Hunger campaign, making it fun and a hugely successful event. Sue's the proud mother of daughters, Chelsea and Stephanie. She's engaged to her fiancé, Larry Carabello, and she's the loving nana to Larry's 4-year-old granddaughter, Octavia. Sue likes having fun, and she's usually up for anything, including concerts and guardian games. Her favorite pastime, however, besides hanging out with Larry and socializing with her huge array of friends, is having a glass of wine and belting out some karaoke tunes. Yes, folks, Sue is a karaoke junkie, hooked on the natural high of singing her favorite songs. Her current go-to recording is Flowers by Miley Cyrus. And by the way, Sue, I have a little something for you right here. We got you a microphone. You can use that at your next performance. Sue's extremely personable and a very fun lady. She can make a good time out of anything, including work. She's never in a bad mood. In fact, she's always in a good mood. She lifts up everyone around her. I'm truly grateful for having the pleasure of working with her for these many, many years. She's a high-quality, charming, caring, authentic, and empathetic individual. She's a great mom and nana, a good friend to many, and a dedicated, knowledgeable public employee, always working hard for and on behalf of the people that we serve. In closing, I don't want to sound too sappy here, but I love Sue like the sister I never had. At this time, I'd like to introduce this year's Merit Award winner, Sue Swarton.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Judge Russo, for your kind words. We certainly have been through a lot over the years. And thank you to the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association for continuing to honor public servants with this award. And congratulations to my fellow honorees tonight, all well-deserved. Who knew where the road would lead when I began at the office of Russo Roth and Company in 1981? Don't do the math. I was very, very young when I started there. I think kindergarten. I have been fortunate enough to have been able to work in both domestic relations court and probate court. It's been quite a journey. I've made so many friendships along the way, and it's been a pleasure to work with so many wonderful people. We have a great team at probate court. In good times and in bad, we all work together to get the job done. It's been an honor to be a part of Judge Russo's corner, along with his bailiff, Mark Garofoli, and staff attorney, Courtney Verardi. not to mention Peggy Sue. Those two can get into trouble. I could go on and on naming everyone that I'm so close with at the court. How much time do we have, Jacob?
Floor's yours, Sue. Despite the grievous injury you suffer when that man hit you.
In the midst of monitoring cases, double and triple checking documents, and processing all Judge Russo's paperwork, it's been most rewarding to help the public, whether it be to understand the status of the case or procedure or what's needed to accomplish the result they're looking for. It does require patience, kindness, and sometimes long phone calls. It's all worth it when they let you know how much they appreciate your help. And I want to thank Judge Russo and Judge Gallagher for their support over the years. I'd like to thank my probate court family for coming down today, my daughter Chelsea, my daughter Stephanie and her partner Hannah, and last but certainly not least, my fiance Larry Carabello for his love and support and for being here today. In closing, please remember to do the best that you can wherever you are and whatever your job may be. You never know where that road will lead. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, and congratulations. Our next honoree is from the Cleveland Municipal Court Clerk's Office. Clerk Turner could not be here today, but on his behalf, we have Kim Bates presenting Lisa Sellers for this award.
Good afternoon. Today we gather to celebrate a remarkable individual who has dedicated her career to public service with unwavering commitment and a touch of humor that has brightened our days. It is my honor to present Lisa Sellers, a true pillar of our community and a cherished colleague. Lisa, a mother of one, began her journey with us in the clerk's office under Benny Bonanno in 1994 as a part-time employee. By 1995, she had already proven her worth and was hired full-time in 1995. Now working for Earl Turner, Lisa has been a steadfast presence in the docketing department, processing services, liens, and navigating the ever-changing landscape of her department, now known as CMS. Through multiple department name changes, management staff, and the unprecedented challenges of COVID-19, Lisa has remained a constant force. She's never taken extended time off and has always been the steady rock we could rely on. In an era of evolving technology and shifting work ethics, Lisa has been a team player, helping to ensure everything runs smoothly. Lisa's dedication extends beyond her primary responsibilities. Lisa arrives every day between 7 and 7:30, like clockwork. She assists at the front desk and has been known to come in extra early to help other departments in need. Her response to any request for help is always the same. Okay, what do I have to do and who is going to show me? Followed by the all-important question, and how will I be compensated? Her willingness to cross-train and her ability to adapt have made her the go-to person for many, especially her latest director, Darren Dorsey, who admits that when departments need help, the first person he turns to is Lisa. Darren always says, if you ever want to learn about deferred comp, go to Lisa. Her story will wow you. Her story alone has helped many new hires join. It's an inside joke. Lisa is one of the rare individuals who just knows her job inside and out. We don't know how long we will have the privilege of working with her, but we do know that we will miss her wealth of experience and her steady presence when she eventually decides to move on and enjoy life. Lisa, you have been a beacon of reality, a source of wisdom, and a friend to all. Your dedication and humor have made our workplace a better place. We are grateful for your years of service and look forward to many more. Congratulations on this well-deserved award.
Thank you, Kim. Good evening, everybody. I just have a few words to say concerning public service. And then after that, I'll just have a couple of thanks and acknowledgements. So, working in public service for me can require having lots of patience, especially in a courtroom setting atmosphere where I work. Example of that is working with the customers all day in person and over the phone. That's all day. Having to look up cases, checking court hearing dates and the times, having to process tons and tons of legal documents, data entering, opening up and sorting plenty of mail, or sometimes working alongside of my coworkers, which sometimes requires patience. But sometimes being patient can be rewarding when you have taken care of the customers by them being satisfied and going above and beyond helping others. So working alongside of coworkers, getting things done, that can be rewarding as well. So overall, public service work is worth it. Then I have a couple of acknowledgements that I want to say thanks to. First, I want to thank my boss, Mr. Earl B. Turner, for choosing to give me this honor and recognition. Second, I would also like to thank my family, friends, and coworkers for coming out to this event and supporting me. Finally, I would like to also give thanks to the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association organization just having this event set up to recognize people like myself and others who work hard and are dedicated to their jobs.
Thank you, Lisa, and congratulations and well-deserved. From the Shaker Heights Municipal Court, we have Judge Ann Keller and her nominee, Stephen Tomaszewski.
Good afternoon. Congratulations to all of the Public Servants Merit Award winners today. You play such a vital role in the justice system, and we are so grateful for your service. I am very honored to nominate Stephen Tomaszewski, Steve as we know him, the Clerk of Court of the Shaker Heights Municipal Court. Steve has been in public service for 29 years since graduating from college, and all of those years have been at the Shaker Heights Municipal Court. It shows a lot of loyalty, stability, and commitment for the court, for which the court has been very lucky. He has had virtually every position within the court, and for the past 15 years has been the clerk at the Shaker Heights Court. He is beloved by his colleagues in the court because of the kind way that he treats everyone that he works with. And I want to tell a story that relates to me because when I started at the court, I was a magistrate, and he really makes everyone feel welcome. When I started there, I didn't really know anyone, and he would invite me into his office to play Trivia Jeopardy, and it was during lunchtime, and he really made me feel welcome. Eventually, we stopped doing that because he would beat me every time we would play, but that's just the kind of person that Steve is, and he's just a great person to have as a colleague. On sunny days, he organizes cookouts for the court. He's always the first to volunteer at those cookouts to run the grill. For the staff, he's very caring and considerate for all of his employees. He's also exceptional as the clerk of court, and I've been so fortunate to have him working with me since I've become the judge. He is someone who really understands the importance of providing good public service and works hard to make sure that the court office and the clerk's office operates efficiently. He maintains excellent relationships with everyone that we work with. from the city of Shaker Heights, the banks, the vendors that we do business with, and everyone within the court, because that's the kind of person that Steve is. He's just an all-around great guy. I could talk to you all day about his love of things like bowling and golf, but what he loves most is his family, some of whom are here today. And he's so proud of them, and I'm really glad that they're here to support him and in the audience for him to receive this great honor, which is for him like his bowling trophy. So I want to thank the Public Servants Committee for the opportunity to have this wonderful event today, and the Bar Foundation for honoring all of these deserving individuals who do so much for our legal system. And I want to congratulate Steve on this award. Congratulations, Steve.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank everyone for attending this wonderful event, and I congratulate all my fellow award recipients. As the judge said, my public service journey began back in 1995 when gas was $1.15 a gallon and the #1 TV show was Frasier. It was a long time ago. I was a fresh-faced young man that had just graduated from college, and my placement advisor informed me about a job opening at the Shaker Heights Municipal Court. I really didn't have any knowledge of the court. Somehow, despite having no experience, I was hired as a deputy clerk. Over the years, I worked hard and received several promotions, first to accounting manager, then to chief deputy clerk, and then 15 years ago, I was promoted to the clerk of court, the position I hold today. During my time there, I learned that it is pretty rare to receive any compliments or accolades from outside the court when you work there. That is why this award is so special to me. Although I'm receiving this award today, I could not have done it alone. I would like to thank all of my coworkers, past and present. A little piece of this award belongs to each one of them. I would like to thank my family for their support over the years. And I would also like to thank Judge Montgomery for taking a chance on hiring that young man all those years ago. I would like to thank my current judge, Judge Ann Walton Keller, for keeping me on as her clerk and also nominating me for this award. Finally, I would like to thank the Cleveland Metro Bar Foundation for giving me this honor. Thank you.
Steve, congratulations, and I think a perfect 300. All right, for our last nominee, only by reason of alphabet and for no other reason, is from the Cleveland Municipal Court. Here's Judge Michelle Early to present her nominee, Randy Williams.
I don't know if we're applauding because we're about to do a reception or or if we have that many people who love Randy, which I'm sure it's that many people who love Randy. Good afternoon. I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Bar Foundation for giving us the opportunity to participate in this award ceremony. The Cleveland Municipal Court selected someone who has been consistent in service, the gatekeeper of the 14th floor. Someone who always greets you with a smile and a kind word. Everyone who works on 14 knows you cannot pass the desk without saying good morning to Randy. Someone who provides respectful but firm security to the court, Deputy Bailiff Randy Williams. When I told Randy he was selected for this award, Randy said, "Oh no, Judge, pick someone else. I'm just doing my job." And that is exactly why we selected Randy, because he believes providing exemplary work is just doing his job. Randy will be with the court in December for 30 years. Will have 30 years with the court in December of this year. He started with the Cleveland Municipal Court in 1994. At the time, he worked in the traffic arraignment room. 8 years later, he joined the warrant unit and was there until he began working floor security on the 14th floor where he currently works. Randy loves his job, and he tells me that he has no plans to retire because, of course, I would deny the request. You may notice Randy working security for sporting events and concerts, and he has also provided security and traffic control for the Bar Association's Run for Justice. Prior to joining the court, Randy served 4 years in the Marine Corps. He has He is a father to 3 adult children, 2 daughters and a son. Randy, your exemplary service and humility make you more than worthy of this award. Thank you for your service. And Randy's remarks will be very short because he knows he's standing in the way between you and the reception.
Randy, it's not often I overrule a judge. Take your time, despite what she says.
It's going to be short. Thank you, Judge Early, all the judges, Cleveland Municipal Court, and the CMBA for this honor. It's been a pleasure to work for the court for almost 30 years. I am truly grateful. That's it.
Thank you, Randy. And before we conclude the program, I'd like to ask all of you to help me honor all of them for their service. Even though you've done it individually, let's do it as a group.